Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. Where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got one of the most ridiculous shows we're ever going to produce for you guys. So if you don't want to miss one of the most ridiculous shows, please stick around for this one. Trust me. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, what am I talking about? You know, I've come to realize something about sports media and content creation as a whole. There are literally levels to this. And it really has nothing to do with your background. It has everything to do with your approach, your attitude, and, you know, your respect for your audience, or in some cases, lack thereof. There's a lot of content out there being produced, and sports is a very, very competitive niche. Speaking specifically about basketball is very competitive. If you think of the volume of shows and videos that are being produced on a minute or hourly or every 10 minutes on YouTube, is a very large volume. So you really have to be good to carve out your space in such a competitive arena. If you look at our channel, if you go back to the early days of our content, you can see a steady progression in our production, our thumbnails, our delivery, our setups over time, and it's going to get better. Next year is going to get better. We're going to do another upgrade. We're going to have a better studio, all in an attempt to make our viewers take us, number one, more seriously, to show that we actually care about how we present ourselves, the brands we try to create. But what I've also noticed is that there's some people that simply don't pay any attention to detail, right? When you come out there, you talk, not really prepared, don't really know what you want to say, haven't really thought about your argument, and you just go up there and talk, and you just rely on the fact that, well, people can't discern between what's good and what's not. When the fact of the matter is, people can understand that quite easily. Why am I saying all of this? For the longest time, I've heard that you cannot have a grasp on basketball if you did not play basketball. Now, I've been a basketball fan for over 20 years, but I never played basketball professionally or collegiately, nothing like that. But I've always been a fan of the sport, right? I played soccer as a kid because I'm, you know, my West African upbringing. So I played that. I enjoyed playing that physically. It's a lot of fun. But it doesn't mean that, you know, I didn't understand basketball. And I love watching basketball more than I do football, funny enough. But because of my passion for the sport and how much I enjoy it, once we decided that we wanted to go into sports media, I understood that, okay, this is becoming a job, right? And you really need to start doing your research. You need to start becoming, you know, put out some coherent arguments. You just have to put out high level quality content. But one of the things that I've noticed is that there's some voices out there that say, well, because you never played professionally, therefore you cannot have an informed opinion about basketball. I said, okay, you guys want to hold that and say, okay, hold that over someone's head and say, okay, well, this is why we're better than you, no problem. But then if you're going to say that, then basically what you're saying is that whoever has played basketball, whether in a collegiate level, internationally, or in the NBA, you're basically telling me that these guys are basically capable, just because they played in the NBA, of giving some of the best basketball takes. But all too often, what I see is a total opposite. And this is the latest example with this Gilbert Arenas audio. I try my very best not to listen to Gilbert Arenas when it comes to basketball, because none of his takes are really serious. Talks in a lot of generalities, a lot of platitudes. Nothing is really coherent. Nothing really makes sense. So I listened to them today, and I just previously listened to a video of him insulting players of the past, players in the 80s, calling them a bunch of drunkards or whatever. Now, there's some people that love that, right? There's some people that love that kind of disgusting kind of content, but I'm just not one of them, right? So I was listening to that. It was funny, but it was disrespectful as hell. But whatever. You disrespect the people that came before you in your own league, whatever. I don't know. That's you. So he was up here today, and he was talking about why he believes that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. And there's some people out there that can actually put forward a coherent argument with some solid points as to why they feel that way. But what Gilbert Arenas did was absolutely different. So what we want to do is we want to play what he had to say for you guys, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what Gilbert Arenas had to say here.
I'm a Michael Jordan fan, but I'm not gonna do the stronghold Michael Jordan is still the best player ever.
That was my next question for you.
Right? I'm not going to be that dinosaurish. Here's why. I was in the league when LeBron James' name came. Right? When he came out of the, they said, and all you media got to really understand this. This is what you guys did. They always do this to black people, right? You're going to be the next, They don't let you can I be the first, this person, then I get to that level. Then, it's always, they always throw a great tag on you, right? So they throw, this is the next Jordan, right? MJ, he's here. MJ. Also, they threw an extra one, the next Magic. You're basically created an individual that was supposed to be a unicorn, right? By these two. The best point guard ever.
Thank you.
The best player ever.
Until LeBron. Yeah.
Right? And then he gets here, and then you want to pretend. You're going to pretend that he's not better than just the one player you said. He caught both players. He surpassed him. And then you want to get to, well, he played on different teams. He got the load, man. He played Then you want to throw all this extra. What does he have to do to say he's the best? If you say Michael Jordan's the best and he's the best because of the scoring, I don't care what you're talking about no more. You're invisible, statistics. He would have played all 5 years. This was what I was supposed to be. I did that. That argument is over. Oh, he did it in 6 years. I don't care. He played 82 games for 9. I don't. What? Oh, if he wins one more chip, the chip have to do with the best player.
Individual versus team achievements. This is what I would say. LeBron James is 38 years old, averaging 30 still. It's still a top 10 player in the NBA.
Look, listen, if you don't want to put him as your number one for personal reasons, say it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, listen, I'm a Michael Jordan fan till I die. Right? Say that. And say that's the only reason he can't be number one in my book, because I am a fanatic Jordan fan. Like in my top 5, when people ask me my top 5, I say, hey, this is my top 5. Penny Hardaway is my favorite player of all times. He's in there. And then I just pick 4. I don't want you to about my top 5 because I got Penny. That's my favorite player. My favorite player is going to be in.
So you heard what he had to say. In my honest view, I don't believe that someone who can read and write at a basic level can think that what this guy just said was coherent on any level. If you parse his words from a word-to-word basis, or if you write it out on a piece of paper and read it out, you will realize that he said a bunch of gibberish and nothing. Nothing. In that entire 4 minutes, he did not make one single point. He came into the NBA, he was like, boom, wow, like, wow. Then they said he was going to be one of the greats. Okay, but they said that about a lot of players. Then he came into the NBA. Then he passed Magic. Then he passed Jordan. And the guy sitting next to him and be like, well, hold up. Passed him how? What do you mean by that? No, continue on. Then you get here at the top. And at the top, there's Kareem. And he passes that, meaning the scoring record. And now you want to say that because he did that and because you're a fan of and you want to be a dinosaur. How old is Gilbert? Is 10 years old? I don't understand. Like, you're talking like as if you some young blood. Bro, you older than me probably. But you want to be a dinosaur and you just don't want to give it up. And I'm like, what point have you made here? What's the point you've made here? What's the point? What's the thing we can hold on to and say, okay, I'm going to argue against that point? It was a bunch of nothing. You know, the craziest part, I was going through the comment section and some people were like, man, you spin the facts. And I'm like, what facts? What's the fact that he left out there? He won 6 championships. That don't matter. I don't care. What? So what exactly do you care about? What do you care about? To me, in my honest view, maybe some NBA players will see this show, maybe they won't. In my honest view, the thing that separates a great NBA analyst or commentator from another NBA analyst or commentator has nothing to do with the fact that you played in the NBA. It has everything to do with you as an individual. I'll give you an example. Gilbert Arenas played in the NBA. So did Tim Legler. You cannot even begin to compare the two of them when it comes to just explaining basketball and talking about it. Jalen Rose played in the NBA. You can't compare them. Jay Williams, you can't compare them. Charles Barkley, you can't compare them. And so many others. Has nothing to do with that. It comes down to the individual. How hard are you really going to think on what you're saying? To me, that was a waste of time. Some people will see it and say, well, this was great. To me, I don't think it was great. This is just my view. I thought he said a bunch of nothing. A bunch of nothing. Literally nothing. And we could have played it for a little bit longer, but I'm like, why would I waste my audience's ears to keep playing this nonsense? Made no points. He passed Kareem. Fantastic. We clap for you. But bro, nowhere, nobody ever said that the scoring record of the NBA is what makes you the GOAT. Nobody ever said that. It was never said nowhere. I never heard that. I've been arguing basketball for 20 years with people I know. Nobody ever brought up that point. Nobody did. Nobody. I never heard any NBA player talk about, man, I came into the NBA to go after the scoring. Nobody said that. Nobody. It was no one's goal. It wasn't Michael Jordan's goal. It wasn't Kobe's goal. It's not Giannis's goal. It's not Nikola Jokic's goal. It's not Luka Doncic's goal. It's not Kawhi Leonard's goal. It's not who else you could think. It wasn't Magic Johnson's goal. It was nobody's goal. I never heard nobody say, oh, because Karl Malone, it was the number 2 scorer of all time, therefore he's ahead of Kobe. Nobody said that. Nobody nowhere said that. But now we want to do this. Come up with a better argument, man. You the basketball cat. You're the savant here. That was terrible. Not from a basketball standpoint, from an English standpoint. And then you talk about this, what they do to black. Bro, what are you talking about right now, man? What the? Catch y'all on the next show. Peace.